So here's a trivia for you. What was a horrible game for you to play? Think about that. So you won't be able to look this up. And if you want to, you can go look up everyone else's answers online. Just Google them. What was a horrible game to play for you? And then why? Was it because of the playability? Or was it the context? Sometimes we play games that, like I said earlier, we might not just get into. People are talking and talking. Or when you're constantly reading text, you're like, forget this. I don't want to do this. So you got about 30 seconds. Look up what were some horrible games to play. And was it because of playability? Or was it because of context? You have about 15 seconds. What was a horrible game for you to play? Look up videos and see why they were horrible and listen to people's feedback. All right. Gameplay. Now we talked a little bit about this earlier, but it's kind of moved around a little bit. Gameplay is talking about the movements. How can we immerse ourselves in the game a little bit more? So it's the movements, how we're working. You can almost think of these mechanics. Is it also a closed or an open world? Now what that means is sometimes when you try to go as far as you can within that level or that map or that world, can you go beyond and not stop? Or is there some kind of boundary that stops you? Okay, so when we would play games, you would see like this, like pretend there's a square right here, and then the character is in the square. Well, he couldn't go outside the square. That would be a closed world. However, if we see a character plopped in here and we continue walking, but we don't see like a stop, but we can keep walking, we can do whatever we want, and we don't have to do something in order, well, now it's open, it's a free. Okay. Closed also means that you have to do things in a certain order as you play. Open can mean here's all these things, all these tasks and objectives, but you can do them in whatever order that you want. So you have open is more free. Closed is here's some steps, but here's some boundaries. There's nothing wrong with closed. Open can be too much for people because we don't know where to go. Another thing for gameplay is that we start to combine our senses. Not only do we see and we can listen, now we start to bring in tactile. So the newer games, I know PlayStation, the newer PlayStation stuff, and I think Xbox did, you have the rumble. Once you get close to something, you can feel that feedback. You can feel your controller give you that sense of feedback. You get hit, boom, you feel it. Now we're more immersed in that world. But another sense of gameplay is walking through and seeing games. There's a bunch of people on YouTube that do this now. There's a video of some guy playing Super Mario Brothers, a walkthrough. You can watch someone playing the game all the way through and beating it. And that is its form as well. Some people not only like to play games, they like to watch people play games. And use that as like a sense of, hey, let me figure out how to beat this, or a reference. I got stuck here, let me go and see what they're doing. Game-based learning. The idea behind this is that it's focusing on teaching by using a game. So they're going to teach you a skill or a concept, but they're using a game. Hooked on Phonics is a good example of this. They teach you how to read. They use games to do it. Math Blaster was a cool game growing up. You would figure out these math problems, and as you figured out the math problems, you would blast away these aliens. Now here's another video that you can go and watch and check out. and he's discussing game-based learning. Gamification. Gamification allows us to take elements or these little tiny components of games and that we can bring those into whatever we're doing. So an example that I wrote was little Billy is bored because he doesn't want to do his chores. Well, what happens if we bring in some of those little elements of games? So those elements could be awards, badges, points, rankings. You do that, hey Billy, if you wash every cup, you get 2 points. Hey Billy, you did a great job. Now we're going to give you an award, a badge, for being the best dishwasher ever. And between you and your brother Billy and Joey, you're in first place. We can use those in boring things, but we can also use those inside of other things. But this is what people do to keep our interest, to keep playing. We see these in Clash Royale. We also see this. We used to see this in Angry Birds. People like to know where they stand. That competitive edge allows them to go, yes, I'm winning. We've talked about this external, internal reward system. This is external. This shows everyone I'm number one, or let you know, hey, I gotta keep working. That's gamification. Trivia. So put a minute on here. What game are you creating for your digital citizenship? Or if you are not creating, so again, are you creating a game-based learning game, or are you gamifying something that already exists? So are you using a game and just putting some points to it? It says, can you think of a game-based learning game? And what is an element from gamification that you think is popular? Okay, so you can answer this question or you can answer this question. What game are you creating for digital citizenship? Is it game-based learning? Where you're teaching an idea, mainly education stuff and using a game? Or are you throwing in gamification? Can you think of game-based learning game and what is an, or you can answer this question. Can you think of a game-based learning game? What is an element from gamification that you think is popular? Again, here are some ideas. What do you think is the most popular? So answer one of these questions, either this question or this question. And we're on our last slide here. So here's some other things that we did not get to. But there's still a lot of information on it. Like I said, you can dive deeper into it, but at least that we're aware of it. Game principles, what are the main components or ideas when you're doing it, like visuals, audio, like how do you, it's being very specific for those things. Game theory, how to make it challenging. Gratification, how to make it not so challenging, but we continue to feed our player so that they feel like, yeah, I like this. So again, this is our game lecture. This is all of it that we're going through, and take your notes and also do your trivia stuff and make sure that you submit those in.